Dave Lewis. Dave Lewis is going to be introduced and presented by his children, Michael, Jillian, and Juliana. I believe they're all going to come up. So come on up, they're going to present Dave Lewis. Dave Lewis cross country, wrestling, and track. Section 4 and stack cross country champion 1983. Established Norwich High School record in the 3,200 meters in 1983. Stack 1,600 meters track champion 1984. Placed third in the 1984 stack and Section 4 Class B Wrestling Championships. Shenango Track Invitational Outstanding Male Performer in both 1983 and 1984. And he was a member of the class of 1984. So without further ado, Dave's children.
I guess I'll go first. I didn't write anything down, so I'm just going to kind of wing it and let you guys actually talk. My dad, I didn't have the honor of seeing him compete back in the day, but even during my athletic career, he was always there. You know, you'd be running cross country, and you'd see him at the beginning, he'd be running a mile in, you'd see him again, a mile in, you'd see him again, and you'd wonder how he got there so fast. Well, now that this comes to be, it kind of makes sense. He's also, raised me to be who I am today. He's always been a great father, man of God, hard worker, so he couldn't deserve this honor more than, so congratulations, Dad.
Okay, our dad has always been a Hall of Famer in our hearts. We've heard the stories, as Mike was saying, of his amazing running career. He inspired us all to be runners ourselves, and he taught us so much through that. His love for the sport has never faded. He mentored all of us through our athletic careers and chased us all over the country to watch us and make sure he never missed a meet. He is the hardest working man with the biggest heart for God, and he's an amazing leader and always puts everybody in front of himself. We believe that his experiences in athletics and at Norwich High School have shaped him into the amazing man that he is today.
So I'll definitely echo what my brother and sister said. Definitely felt his support all the way through our high school and college years. Definitely never missed us run or compete. And that's just a really special thing to having a dad. I do wish I could go back in time and be able to see my dad run in that stack championship. I've heard about that one where he had to jump off the bus and run. I've heard that one before. As I was freaking out before many races, he's like, "It's okay, you got this. One time I had this." So he's definitely talked us through a lot. But I believe my siblings and I have something even better. A dad that used his time as an athlete to grow him and challenge him in so many areas of his life. He used his knowledge of running to be our best coach and our biggest fan. Thank you, Dad, for all you have done, and we cannot think of someone more deserving of a Hall of Fame than our dad, Dave Lewis.
Dave is here. Come on up, Dave. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Couldn't be anything more special than I'm so happy with you. First, I'm humbled to be here tonight. First, I want to thank my Lord and Savior for this opportunity, and I think of my wife who has supported me. She was going to be a freshman in high school, and I was going to be a senior. Maybe ever since. So she's so excited about that. And then my children and my grandchildren. I couldn't be more proud they're my pride and joy. But I also want to thank Mom and Dad for the support, but also teaching me a work ethic, to work hard and to put the time and the effort. And I wish Dad could be here tonight, but we just look it down. And then my other siblings, Rich and Tony and Val. Rich was a couple years behind me, but pushed me along a little bit too. Couldn't get beat by your little brother, right? I didn't want that to happen. But I think, about being an athlete in Norwich and teachers that poured into me. I probably wasn't the greatest student. Probably some of the teachers were like, "This kid gonna get it or what?" But there was teachers that still poured into me and encouraged me. There was coaches that did the same. My athletic career, I think, started in junior high. We didn't have cross country in junior high, right? So I joined the track team, and Mr. Hagendu back here was talking about the track meets they have for the elementary kids, right? And so I did the hurdles when I was in 6th grade, and the Perry Brown track meet for the spring, and did pretty good. So I thought, well, I'll probably be a hurdle. Well, so I joined the 7th grade track team, Mr. Funk's coaching, and I said I want a hurdle. So it was okay. So the first meet I get 3rd place or something, I think, and he said, I think it's time to try something else. He let me do it once. And then he said, how about the mile? Because I think that would fit you better. And so the first time I ran the mile, I won, and so I guess I became distance runner that day. So thinking of that, Mr. Funk being willing to spend some time and encourage me just at the 7th grade level, right? And then 8th grade comes along, and I don't know if Mr. Dye put these guys up to it or not, but these 3 guys come to the middle school and look me up and say, hey, how about next year joining the cross country team? And so that's where my cross country career begun, was because 3 guys took time out of their day to come and invest in me. So then that was Art Windsor, John Hitt, and Dan Spilsbury came to the middle school to try to get me to join the cross country team. And then Mr. Dye, I think of that guy that always told me I could. But he also took time. He had problems at home, his wife was sick and things, but still took time to support me. I also remember my brother Rich and Brian Rogers, who is here tonight, teammates, and many other guys who just pushed me, encouraged me, and without people like that, I don't know if I would have been the athlete that I was. There was also a time my senior year that Mr. Dye had to take some time off because of his sick wife. He did show up for a couple weeks though. And Tom Utter filled in for him graciously. Then there was indoor track, and that disappeared. after my sophomore year. And I was disappointed. I was like, what in the world am I going to do to stay in shape for track? And so indoor track was fun, and we had a lot of fun and did pretty well, I think. And Coach Krasbowski, again, a coach that poured into me and others as well. And thinking about some of these coaches, that there's just so many kids that are there to be poured into. And kids with all different levels of abilities. But yet these people took time out of their day to pour into each and every one of those individuals. Well, so junior year comes along, and what's a cross-country track guy going to do to stay in shape? Well, there was this guy named Mike Box that come to me and said, hey, why don't you come out for wrestling? And I said, I ain't wrestled anybody except for my brother in the living room. So he goes, we'll figure it out. And so I think of Mr. K, who has been just a great guy and was a great coach, and accepted me on a cross-country track guy onto his wrestling team. That was really, at that time, a pretty good wrestling team. And I think of Mike Box and Eddie Caputo, two guys that would stay after practice an hour and work with me and teach me and help me to be an okay wrestler. And so I say that again because of people that encouraged me, built me up in my life. And then spring track, this was always a blast. Doug Krasbowski is one of the guys that's being inducted tonight, teammate. Hawk Edwards is here. Betsy's here. Brian Rogers are here. People that I got to have as teammates that just made it a blast. You know, we had a lot of fun. And we did pretty good sometimes too. But then again, Coach Krasbowski, and then my junior, senior year, Coach Shore and Wake came in, and just, again, two more guys that cared about us and just poured into our lives. And I just like to thank, you know, all of my teammates, all of my coaches that I've had over the years, and then even just classmates, people that encouraged me and just congratulated me when there was successes, and maybe even when there wasn't successes. And I've talked a lot about, you know, people that poured in my life, which I think is probably the most important thing. My successes, I think you would see in the article, and since Mr. Dye is here tonight and he was present, I thought it was probably important that I talk maybe a little about stack championships my senior year cross country. So I'm gonna say today, Mr. Dye might have got us there on time because we got GPSs. But back then, almost didn't get to run that race. But I think we were about 10 minutes to race time.
No.
5 minutes?
They were on the line with a gun in the air.
So I think the bigger part of that story was, to that point, as you know, Norwich cross country has not really ever had a lot of depth. And so if you weren't a division championship team, you didn't get to compete at the state championships. And so that year was the first year that changed that, so that every stack team got to compete at stack championships. And so if that never would have happened, And since Mr. Guy did get us there in time, I was able to compete. And it was probably one of those highlights of my career that, you know, to show up, and if you're not a cross-country person, you probably don't understand that typically you would probably show up an hour or two early, and you would look at the course, you would jog the course, and get familiar with the course, and know where the hills are, and the downhills, and the corners, and the slippery spots, and all of those things. And so, stepping on the line without ever seeing the course before and not really knowing what was going to happen, it was one of those things that it was just, okay, got to play a little different strategy here. And so I shouldered this kid from Ithaca for 3 miles, and then point 1, I said, it's time to go, because I could see the finish line. And so it was just amazing to be able to have that success that day. Just want to maybe, it's already been talked about here tonight, but the thing I think that's the most important thing that Mr. Cade said and others have is we live in a different age than I did when I competed. And our children are dealing with a lot of stuff. And so I would just encourage coaches, teachers, parents to pour into their kids. Remind your kids you love them. Remind your kids they have value. Because it seems like yesterday that this all happened. Just over 40 years ago. Supporting the kids, supporting the kids. And I just want to thank everybody for this honor and for coming tonight.